Okay. All right. I'm going to pull it up on YouTube now and see what we're getting. And I'm not getting any feedback like we did last time. So that's good.
Oh, nice.
Yes. Let me,
I'm hearing you.
yeah, I'm getting a,
I, yeah, I heard your delay though.
yeah. Okay. Hold on a second. This is Zoom.
Maybe you just turn down your speakers on your computer.
Wow, what are you talking about?
Because a minute ago, when you said I'm I'm not getting any feedback, I heard you 7 seconds later say I'm not getting any feedback.
Oh, that's because I have it playing right here on my phone.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. So
That's your
so I
problem.
was looking at
Turn
it.
your phone down, dude.
Yeah, I will. I'm actually okay. Turn this down. Hello, Carl. Is the feedback still there? All right. Now just there it is right there.
Oh, you actually have somebody online?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
That's so funny. God, that's so funny.
So this is like I
Well,
said.
you
This
know,
is this is really just a last minute thing I wanted to throw together. I wanted to have some kind of content this week, even though you and I have had a wild week. And every time you and I get on the phone, we end up having like a 45-minute conversation that should have
I
ended up being a
know.
podcast. So I think if we just do our normal thing and just pay attention to the questions, then I think we got something right there. Just us talking.
Exactly. Exactly.
Thank you, Carl. I appreciate you
Well,
letting me know.
but it sounds good. Is
Yes,
that what
he
he
said.
said?
Yeah, he says there's
Oh,
no feedback anymore, so we're good. As good as we can sound. He says you're quiet though.
I am quiet.
Let's see. That's a
Unleash the beast.
no one's
How
ever
about
told.
that?
No one's. Yeah, that might help. We'll see. I don't think anyone's ever accused you of being quiet.
Nobody's ever.
I don't know how to handle this. No one's ever said this to me.
Exactly. In fact, someone texted me this weekend. I love your unbridled approach to Freemasonry. It's like,
That
yeah,
unbridled. That's a nice way of putting it.
you're right. Exactly.
So,
Exactly. I took it as a compliment actually.
how was the capital degree?
Man, it was awesome. It was. I gotta tell you, for the Grand Lodge that everyone knows and loves to accuse of not doing the work very well, they just basically said, "Shut up, past master. I'm talking to you." And they did it. They were spot on. Everything was perfect. And you know, most worshipful did the conferred the degree. Uh, right worshipful duty did the lecture, full form lecture, and right worshipful. Is he a right worshipful? I think he's a right worshipful.
Hey, real quick, one of the one of
Justin
the
Blank.
one of the viewers said you're still.
Corey Harris.
I guess you're still
Corey
being pretty
Harris.
quiet. Will you move your mic a little closer? Just
Can you
stick
hear
it
me
in.
now?
I turned it up and I could hear you. So
Hey.
see, this is why we can't have nice things, Dennis.
No. Right worshipful Corey Harris. Or I'll just keep the lips closed so I don't slobber on my mic here. Right worshipful Corey Harris did the charge, and I got to tell you guys, it was a fabulous degree, and it was the first time that a fellow craft degree has been conferred in the Capitol chambers,
Who gave the
and
lecture?
uh, right worshipful Duty, Justin Duty.
Did he give the walk-in lecture?
Yes, he did
Oh, he did.
in the Capitol, in
Nice.
the Capitol. Yes, yes,
Man, that's
Justin Duty, you rock, brother.
nice.
You rock, you rock. Yes, that was so cool. That was so cool. And then, oh man, and you totally missed it. I told you to come. I told you. I begged you, but no, you just had to stay home and appease your wife.
I
but
know.
that's okay.
What a
That's
loser! I had to stay
okay.
home, be with my kids, and
I know. Be with
yeah.
your family. God, what kind of Mason are you? Anyway,
But then I spent all day Saturday at Temple.
at Temple,
Yeah,
I
for York Rite. William says it was the best degree he's ever seen.
the oh
The
at
the Fellowcraft.
at, well, that was a good telegraph. It was. I've never seen one with as few mistakes, but the best degree I've ever seen was the expression of a degree that we saw in Austin at Austin 12 put on at the Scottish Rite Theater. That
Was that the same?
was the best expression of a degree I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, because William said Austin 12 did an amazing job.
Yes,
Is that what you're
he's
talking
talking
about?
about the master. He's talking about man with
What's an
music,
expression of a degree?
with lighting. That means that it wasn't an actual degree. It wasn't a real candidate. It was it was it was them just going through the motions, showing what it could have been like back in Lightfoot's days
Was it Masters?
before. Yes,
I see.
before they took away the music, before they did all that here in the states. When they used to use pianos and stuff, and it was so awesome. They had
Man,
he had an organ going. He had the piano that sounded like the old school piano, that kind of piano.
mm-hmm.
I mean, it back when Mozart wrote all the different pieces to the degrees. That's what he did. Is he played all the different parts that Mozart created for the master's degree, and man, it was just awesome. The only thing that didn't really fit into place was the it when it got to a certain point near the water. They had a video of that in the background, and you heard the sound of the waves.
Mm-hmm.
But that kind of felt out of place. But it was kind of cool because it was cool. It was cool the way it happened,
I
but
see.
because it really helped you visualize like a movie. It was like you were at a movie watching this. It was like you were transported back in time, and then all of a sudden a movie popped up on the screen, and that was cool. It was cool. You walk in and smell the incense in the air. The lighting is dimmed. It's raised at different points to accentuate different moments of time, and man, it was just I
Nice.
cannot say enough about it. If you have never seen anything like that, you need to ask Austin 12 to put on that expression of a degree for you and as many Masons as you can get over there because they do such a wonderful job.
Hey,
And then the dinner was so cool after.
are you watching? Are you watching this on? Are you watching it live on YouTube, or are you just watching it through Zoom?
To me,
Yeah, you, the guy I'm talking to.
I'm just paying attention to us. I don't care what they see on YouTube.
Well, you should pull it up so you can see the comments. Like William says, P.S. Yates Kids Six Flags Saturday. I don't know what that
Oh,
is.
nice,
I don't know what
nice.
that is.
I'll tell the girls.
And
I'll tell the girls.
Masons,
They're going to
Mason
PF
S,
Texas.
and Big Bear Hug Brothers.
Ah,
So
nice.
yeah, did you get your bear hug? Huh? There you go. There you go. Yes. But yeah, just that way you can see the questions and everything. But
That way I can get totally confused.
what's interesting to me about this is, and I'm going to tread very carefully,
You
is
better.
is we had the walking lecture given at the Capitol, which some people kind of wring their hands about, right?
Yes.
And then they played music. It wasn't an actual degree, but they played music at the degree, the master's degree, to show how impactful it can be. And it was positively received. When there was that resolution about music this year that people were kind of in a roar
If
about.
if if anybody has seen that expression of a degree, then you got to make sure you say expression because we don't want people saying, "Oh, it was a degree. It was against Grand Lodge," because the Grand Master did not give dispensation to do that as a degree
Hmm.
in degree form. It was more like a floor school of what it could have been like.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it was. So just so that we're clear, we need to make sure because we don't need anybody to rain on the parade of what happened, because it was magnificent. I've never experienced anything like it. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. What? I was listening to you.
And finish what you were saying.
That was. I think that was the whole thought. Just we have these things, these certain aspects that people get up, kind of get in a tizzy about, but then when it's actually being implemented, it's received favorably.
Yes.
So.
The problem is, and I know what the fear is not everybody has a master musician like the pianist they have in Austin 12. So it would be hard. In the way it was written, it said that they wanted it to be done in music form. So it wasn't something to where we could record or have a recorded version,
Mm-hmm.
which I think if we had a recorded version, like a soundtrack to a movie, and practice to it, then we could get good at it and actually utilize that to where we could have professional music being played for the degree, and then it would be a good experience.
Well, it's like learning the lecture, but not practicing with a PowerPoint, and then
Right.
and then someone starts doing the PowerPoint, and it's throwing you off because you don't know what's next. You don't know what looks next. You don't know. You're not
And if they
prepared
actually
for
hit the
that.
button twice, and then it really messes you up.
Yeah.
You're thinking that you messed it up. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So yeah.
So it could be a struggle. But that's why they had it as an optional thing, which I think, man, it was such an opportunity missed. In a couple of years, when we're allowed to do it again, I'm gonna ask if I can help sign that.
Well, that resolution was
I will.
just withdrawn. So they
Did they
can.
withdraw it?
Yeah, they withdrew
I
it.
didn't see. I missed it. I went out to.
Yeah, you spent Grand Lodge in the parking lot, man.
Yeah, I was peddling cases. You can get them here. I got a message from somebody asking if I had cases, so they're coming. My next batch is coming.
You know what looked really good on those cases?
An Ouroboros.
Wait, where's it at? There it is.
Yeah, there it is. There
Right
it is.
there.
That would look real good.
That looked really good on a
Really
case.
good.
Something like that.
Yeah, especially with the little title at the bottom that says the guru. For me,
Mm.
since I'm the one that makes it all happen. Yeah, yeah. I'm just saying. Just saying.
I'm just saying.
Or maybe the Herald, or the Herald of Hillsborough,
The Herald.
the Herald.
Maybe even like a limited edition.
Herald?
Like
What
a
do you mean?
like a limited edition. Uh, a Masonic
We only
Improvement.
do it
Oh, that's very limited. Very limited.
very prestigious. And then at some point, maybe we could have a raffle or something for one, or do some kind of a giveaway for our 20,000th listener or something like that. 20,000th subscriber.
Something.
Or do one with a live event and say the like 200th or the 500th view or something like that we'll get it,
Yeah.
and then see what happens, see if we can really get some views.
Need to figure out like a hat or something. I know we kind of talked about it, like back and
Oh,
forth,
absolutely.
like a Masonic Improvement hat.
Yeah,
Something.
get one like that one you got on,
Oh, like this with the Masonic Improvement.
except it's gonna have
Yeah.
yeah.
I figured out who made these,
Wait,
but they're probably not ready for something like what we're talking about.
they're not ready for us.
No,
They're
they're not ready
not
for
ready
us.
for us. So what do you guys think that are actually listening to the live podcast? Do you think that or the live YouTube? Do you think that hat with the Ouroboros and the like our logo there would look cool? We're thinking about doing one that's black with a white one, and then one that's white with a black one. Because he's the good twin and I'm the evil twin, and I would have the black one, he would have the white one, because he's the angel.
Are you reading the comments?
No, I can't.
Someone just said it would look good on me, but nothing would look good on you. No, I'm just playing. I'm just
You're
messing.
right. You're right. That's why I wear the American flag.
okay.
You can't disgrace the state. You can say whatever you want to about me, but you can't disgrace the state.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
My comments aren't scrolling properly. I guess I don't know. Oh, there we go. Somebody said let me unsubscribe. Really,
What'd you do,
Carl?
Dennis?
Carl,
Dang it, Carl.
what do you think? Dang it, Carl! We're selling propane accessories.
Oh, he said, I know what he's talking about. He's talking about for the 20,000 subscriber. He's going to unsubscribe and be number
Oh, he's
20,000.
gonna
I
unsubscribe.
got it.
Yeah, rock and roll, man, rock and roll.
Man.
That's cool. But yeah, we got to do something like that. And we'll try a hat the first time, do like 100th viewer during a live show, and then do a case one time. And
The 100th
so first we'll
viewer
have
in a live show? We
no
have,
with
we
the
have,
hat
un,
for the hat.
yeah.
Yeah,
You're saying give it to the 100th viewer?
yeah.
We have 9
The
viewers.
live show during the live show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had like 9. The one we really advertised, we had like 15 for.
Yeah, well, they just have to get it in gear. They gotta earn it.
That hat's going to collect some dust. Maybe like
It's gonna stay on my head. Well, and if they're the 200th viewer, then they get their choice. Give one for each 100 levels. Boom, 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 boom. Like that movie. Mo money, mo money, mo
9 is a new 100. Maybe. Maybe. I was
Well, we
thinking,
got to get them made first.
yeah, we don't have them made yet. William said you just don't want to give anything away. That sounds
No, I
about
don't.
right. That sounds about right. He's like Scrooge McDuck. He wants to have a vault full of pennies he could just dive into, swim around.
Right. I'm the slumlord of Gold.
Man,
That's what it's all about. No, actually, I do hope that we get those hats made and we figure out a way to do something to give back to our contributors and also to earn some money to improve our technology and to get out there to you guys because we really want to do some live shows and it's kind of tough with the limited stuff that we have right now, but we're working towards it. We are
yeah,
working towards it.
yeah.
We might do something in San Antonio next week if he gets out of his little hole over there and
Yeah.
comes down to see us.
I'll be frank. I don't think I'm gonna make San Antonio.
That's all
Unfortunately,
right.
unfortunately,
Wah, wah,
man.
wah.
I'll tell you. Like this week so far, we're doing a study club on Monday at Hillsboro, and then Tuesday they called and asked me. It's not even my district, but I don't even know where they got my number from. Honestly, they called and asked me if I can come give the Fellcraft lecture for a degree on Tuesday, and I was like, yeah, sure. It was like, you want the
Don't feel
walking?
like a
I
bragger.
was like, you want the walking lecture or the standing lecture? So they're all excited about the walking lecture, and then
Well,
Wednesday,
if you're gonna go and get your time to do it the way you want to do
yeah.
it. Tell them, hey guys,
Well,
it's all about me. It's all
hey,
about
Grand
me.
Secretary did it, so
That's right.
Wednesday I'm going
Leading by example.
to Crum Lodge for the MWSA to give a presentation. So my week's already booked up.
I think. Oh, there is secrets to Freemason. We're just not a secret society. Everybody knows about us, but there are definitely secrets in Freemason. So just since that was brought up, I'm sorry. I'm gonna because that was a good question or a good statement to roll into.
Okay,
So
I'll allow it.
go ahead. I'm sorry. I
What?
busted your bubble. We have plenty of time.
I have no
I'll enjoy
bubble.
that.
I was sitting back ready to hear what you're gonna say.
Oh, okay.
When do you become
Well,
so considerate?
I just saw that when I got my tail slapped one time. Okay, so I'm talking about a message from Shmelly.
Schmelly?
Shmelly? 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 Shmelly?
Schm- schm- schm-
Sorry,
sh-
I don't know how to say it. I apologize. I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
but I'm not an idiot when it comes to Freemasonry. So yeah, there's that's a funny joke, and there are no secrets, but yes, there are. And and here's what I'd like to say to any Freemason who's out there
Oh,
saying,
it's just Sean Rothberg. We're okay. We're okay.
"Oh, is that who it
Oh
is?"
yeah, it's just
Well,
Sean.
still, people might want to hear this later.
Yeah, yeah, it's good.
So just remember. So when it comes to Freemasonry, there are secrets. We're just not a secret society. People know who we are, but there are definitely secrets. And in fact, I wrote a post today that is in it, and it's based off of an old quote from I think it was Lightfoot years ago, or maybe I can't remember who it was, but anyways, it says that we're a beautiful system of allegory. Oh my gosh, I'm such an idiot. What's that saying?
A system of morality veiled in allegory and illustrated by symbols.
Yes, yes. So right. So okay. So the system is a you go through your rites of passage to different degrees, and you're learning something as you go, but mainly you're memorizing what's going on. Well, at that point, all you're doing is memorizing what's going on. You're learning what you're doing, but you're not really learning what you're doing. There's a veil there, and you really have to dig after that point to understand Freemasonry. And anybody can become a master mason if they're found worthy
Schmooly.
and allowed to join the fraternity, but not anybody can become a Freemason. A Freemason knows the difference between the symbols and allegory hidden by the veil to the secrets. There are lessons to be learned that it takes time to unpack, and it takes time to and sometimes you'll know it and not even know you know it until later, and all of a sudden you'll be driving down the road and you have that aha moment, and then you're calling your buddies saying, "Hey, I finally got it! I finally got it!" And they're gonna go, "Well, it only took you 10 years.
So
I figured it out after the first one."
Carl Grant says that whenever someone asks me about the secrets, I tell them that Nick Cage didn't find the treasure, and I know where it really is. Nice, nice. Yeah, I have. Go ahead.
What's funny is that anybody that's been on Texas Freemasonry has heard about Martha.
Mm.
You remember Martha?
Who could forget Martha? The
Somebody was
dearest
talking.
Martha Marshall.
Exactly. So somebody shout out to Robert Marshall. We love
Shout out to Martha.
you. Martha, we love you more. So anyway, somebody was saying, well, he thought it was me. He still thinks it's me. I said, no, I know it's not you because I know who it is. They said, oh, really? Who is it? I said, I'm not telling. That's the biggest secret of Freemasonry.
Oh.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Go ahead and say.
I have my own thoughts on the whole secrecy thing, and that is you know, because I see it a lot, man. Like, you don't see the comments that I see on some of these videos, the comments that don't make it through. And
Right.
now that now that I'm on TikTok, so for those of you, first of all, that aren't on my TikTok, you need to find me and add me on TikTok. But I mean, they're everywhere on TikTok. I mean, they're like ants just crawling all over every Masonic thing you post. And secret society always keeps getting thrown out, or a secret organization. And it's like, for a secret society, we do a pretty bad job considering the buildings are public with squares and compasses on them, and we usually have Facebook pages, and we post
Right.
pictures, and the members wear the square and compasses, and we advertise our meeting times.
Yeah.
Not really a skull and bones kind of thing, you know.
Ride
It's
around.
pretty.
We ride around in parades. Yeah. We
Yeah,
do blood drives. Yeah.
yeah, definitely. Now I agree. We definitely have secrets, and the secrets is you can go you can spend your entire life as a Freemason, and never learn any of the secrets, or you could spend your entire life learning the secrets and you will still never. There's no end point, right? But for the esoterically minded Mason versus the fish fry minded Mason, the 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 gulf that exists between an understanding of the secrets is vast. It's wide, and the thing is, um, the esoterically minded Mason. I don't know. It's like we don't we don't really flaunt it or anything. I think
Right.
it's kind of like Yoda. Like
Right.
when Luke first met Yoda, he didn't seem like he was anything special. He just thought it was a nutty little swamp rat or something. Um, it's like that.
Well,
Like
you remember what brother Kohanke was saying is that we don't have people say, well, you're just not high enough, you don't know the secrets yet, like they really know our fraternity better than us.
yeah,
And in reality, there is some there are discussions behind doors from different groups and people that gravitate towards each other, because of the way that we think and the way that we talk, and what we talk about, and talking about the ancients and different faiths and stuff like that. It's just really cool stuff to talk
yeah.
about. Well, it's not that we're a secret society. We just get together and hash it out together and have fun, and just discuss the possibilities in life and death.
Yeah.
You know,
So Shmuley, that's how you told me to say it. So I hope I said it wrong. Shmuley,
Schmooly. Okay.
could these secrets be what you find out on your own? Everyone has their own personal secret, while others have their own. Here's the thing, man. You can't convey the secrets. That's why. That's a huge reason why they're secret. It's a
He's he's partly right.
who's partly
You
right.
pointed out, he is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
like like you can't convey it. There's no
It
even if
happens with that aha moment.
yeah.
You say, whoa, and there's the secret, and then all of a sudden you know it, and you say tell somebody, and they say, oh, it took you long enough.
Well, even if you yeah.
Go
So
back to the
like
video tape.
if you're sitting down with someone that's been doing it longer, and you say, hey, this is kind of something that I come to a conclusion. They may understand it because they may be past that point. But for someone that's been studying for decades, bringing in an EA, he can't convey those secrets. Like even if he had the words, this guy he's not ready to understand what you're trying to convey or even to believe. Like spiritually, mentally, emotionally, he's not for whatever reason, he's not ready to accept. He's not ready to hear what you're saying. And you can even take it to something I say mundane, but it's something even more common. Like biblically, there's
I was gonna say the same thing.
there's
You
there's
can read the Bible 10 different times and get 10 different answers from the exact same script, and it
well
just depends on what you're going through in your life to the way you recognize it in your life.
well
It
even
becomes
even if you look at like the golden rule, and I'm not so much of a Bible scholar that I can tell you specifically where it says anything about a golden rule,
oh,
but
I can.
where's it
Yes,
mentioned?
yes,
Oh, okay. Well, I was gonna say, but I know it is mentioned in the Bible, right?
yes.
You can hear it 100 times, and it just bounces off your skull, right? Like it doesn't sink in, and then at one point you're like, man, maybe I really should treat people the way I want to be treated. And there's countless examples of things like that, and so those aren't even necessarily secrets because they're just there in plain sight to be read. But there's so many other things that you have to reach that conclusion on your own through your own research. And I would even say, even if two people are at the same point, you might not still be able to convey it because they may have reached it a different way than you did, and
Yes.
it won't align. Let's see. So yeah, so like Shmuluk said, like the winding stairs for me represent something different than from another brother, and I agree. Like as something I've learned recently is when you're teaching somebody, it's very normal for the candidate or the he's not candidate, I guess, but like say you're teaching someone the EA work, it's very normal for them to ask lots of questions. Like they want to know specifics. And there's two ways you can do this. You can tell them specifically what you think it means, or you can encourage them to interpret it themselves. And I think
Right.
since we're already teaching them and telling them things, it's natural for us to want to tell them things, but we need to let them interpret it because everyone
Right.
like there's a definition, right? That we say what the winding staircase represents or what the sheaf of wheat represents or something like that. But for every symbol there's an esoteric and an exoteric meaning. And we were taught
Yes.
the exoteric meanings, but not necessarily the esoteric. I got a dog out of my yard, so why don't you just talk for a little bit and I'll be right back while I go get that dog. And
So
my wife is that showed up
she's
on the live
telling you
stream.
to get the dog.
All right, she needs to
That's
quit messaging me. Okay, I'll be
that's
back.
fine. That's awesome.
I'll be right back.
I love it. See, his wife controls his life. Mine just she shuts the door and goes and has a glass of water and just relaxes and watches her shows. So he's absolutely right. You know, the at different points in our life we read things differently, and it's all based on the experiences we have in our lives. Um, it's kind of like, well, it also goes right along with geometry. So when we were kids, we were taught all the different shapes and how to equate the shapes and this and that, but we really didn't know how to apply the geometry. So part of what we do is learning application of geometry in in our life, and so it's kind of that situation. So we can learn things all day long, but in at different points we will and based on our own growth and our own intellectual how do I put it? Our own desire to expand ourselves intellectually, we will know how to apply that geometry in different ways. So, and it's the same way with like calculus. We never knew why we needed calculus or algebra or any of that kind of stuff. But if you really want to figure out somebody's time card quickly on with their hours at work and stuff like that, algebra is your man. That's how that's what you're using. You're applying it. So you can learn things all day long, and you can learn the words and go through the motions, but until you get to a certain point in your own journey to where your intellect is matched um, in application to the repetition that you learned before, then you just won't get it. So we get things and get things in different ways as we go, and that's the cool thing about it is that when we're talking to each other and we're sitting down with a glass of scotch or bourbon or whatever, or wine, whatever your poison may be, iced tea, sweet tea, coffee, whatever it gets you goose. Um, when you're sitting there talking, everybody has their own interpretations of um, these different allegories in Freemasonry, and you may walk away thinking completely different about how you felt when you first started, and then you may walk away feeling exactly the same, just feeling reinforced by what you believe. But either way, we may have two different thoughts, and it's being able to best work and best agree, and being able to listen to each other and talk to each other, talk through it, that we can grow as a people, and that's so. That's my definition.
So, yeah, something about your volume. Like I keep seeing people saying something's up with your volume. I mean, you sound fine on my end. So I don't know. I don't know.
I got the
Is there?
mic right here with me.
Yeah,
I don't know what could be going wrong.
yeah. Let me see.
My
Let me,
Wi-Fi is good, and
your Wi-Fi.
oh shoot, yeah, I do need to plug in my computer. That would have been funny if I had just dropped out altogether.
Yeah, I was trying to see if there's a way to turn up your volume, but I don't have that option.
Pump up the volume.
Pump
Pump
it
up the
up.
volume.
I can mute you. That would have been useful to know for a few podcasts.
That would have, but then you
No.
wouldn't have gotten to hear the response.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. I
You
don't.
have
I don't.
you have all the subscribers you have today because of my craziness. They're just waiting for the next outcast.
Yeah.
They're just waiting to say, Jerry, Jerry, Jerry.
So let's see.
You're too young for that. He's a millennial, guys. I'm sorry.
I
He
remember
didn't get
Jerry. I remember Jerry Springer.
Okay, 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 okay.
Thank you, Carl. Appreciate it. Hope to see you again soon.
Take care, Carl.
Let me catch up here. So Nick Smith said levels are not on the level, and like I think I get where you're coming from, but I also
Can you hear me now, Nick? Do I need to speak up? That's right. Shmooly.
what do you say?
Like and subscribe, Carl.
Yeah, like and subscribe.
Come on, Carl. Like and subscribe.
But as far as levels being on the level, it's inside the lodge, we're all on the level, right? It doesn't matter. You can have a plumber sitting next to a doctor, and we're all brothers. It's brother. Uh,
Right.
as far as knowledge goes, you're still on the level. Like I'm just a constructor, but when I'm sitting in lodge, I'm an equal to everybody else. And so even the most learned Mason, we're still on the level. I want to join. I'm in Ghana. Uh, I'm actually, Dennis. I'm actually thinking about, huh?
He'd need to find a lodge in Ghana and petition that lodge.
Yeah, yeah,
We can't do anything to help anyone in Ghana.
yeah. I want to get a copy
Sorry,
of,
brother.
of list of lodges Masonic and just do like a little
Oh shoot.
like a picture of. Oh, you got it?
You mean like this?
Yeah. Uh, pull up. Yeah, find Ghana and show like show the Ghanese. I don't know what the term is for that, but the lodges in Ghana.
Let me figure out how to use this book. I usually do it electronically. I don't usually use the book, but
I saw somebody else do
uh,
that, and I was like, man, that's a good idea. Why don't I just show a picture or something of all the lodges in Ghana? There's not really a whole lot, and I think that's why so
no,
many people ask. And I suspect there's probably also quite a bit of clandestine Mason going on.
yes, yeah. I'll just keep looking. So y'all go ahead and keep talking, and I'm gonna keep looking.
Let's see. I'm trying to catch up with you with Nick Smith here. Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that. You guys seem all like fine gentlemen. Well, even Dennis, really? But I feel like a rough block for sure.
Yeah.
We're all rough blocks. We're all rough ashlers, rough blocks. Um, no one's expecting a Mason to be perfect, right? But we're always striving to be better men. So it's that's why a lot of jurisdictions they'll have a rough ashlar and a smooth ashlar in the east, because that's what that represents. We're the rough ashlars, and we always will be as long as we're alive. We'll be the rough ashlars, but we're striving to be the perfect ashlars. By the way, Dennis, I saw that at a lodge this weekend, and I've never seen that in a lodge room before.
What's
The
that?
smooth and the rough ashlar.
What?
I didn't even
We
think
have one in our lodge.
I didn't even think you could have those.
Yeah, we have them in our lodge right at the feast. Most lodges do.
No, they don't. I've been to a lot of lodges, Dennis, and I've only seen it at one. I've been to
Well,
a lot of
maybe you've
lodges.
been under a rock, or you know, let's just have a poll. Is Justin from under a rock or not?
I rock and
I'm still
roll.
looking for John. There you go.
So ZZZ or ZZZ for short. I live in South Carolina and would like to join a legit lodge that represents all, but it seems very segregated down here. Uh, here's the here's the thing.
That's sad. That's sad because Freemasonry is not supposed to be segregated. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's not. First of all, I agree, and it really depends on what you mean by segregated. Like I don't even know how the recognition is over in South Carolina. I suspect it's probably not as progressive as we are over here in Texas, but uh,
I don't know about that. They might be a little more
well, we
progressive.
recognize the Prince Hall lodges. Here's
Yes,
the
we do.
here's the thing. No matter how you split it, and no matter how the recognition is, the mainstream lodges, you're going to have more Caucasian people, and I mean just overall, and then the Prince Hall lodges, you're going to have more African American people. And that's not to say you won't run into African Americans in mainstream, and that you won't run into Caucasians in Prince Hall lodges. But that's just I don't know. That's just how it's. Unfortunately, and I wish we never had been in the position where this was the reality, but that's what you're going to run into. Now I've here in Texas, we recognize each other. So I've sat in lodge with Prince Hall Masons, and of course Hispanic. Of course, we're Texas, right? So there's going to be Hispanic Masons in either lodge. Um, I don't know what to tell you as far as finding a lodge that you
I
feel isn't segregated.
I can tell you that in different parts, different cities, there are lodges with um, multiple races, multiple creeds, religions, and whatnot. And then there are other lodges that aren't so full of um, diversity.
Yeah.
And the reason that happens is it's not that anybody's choosing to keep anyone out anymore in that
Where they
way.
shouldn't be.
No, they shouldn't be. But normally what happens is we gain new members by just people within our own circles. So the people that we normally, associate with are the people that, come into the lodge with us and whatnot. And it's not through any particular for any particular reason.
Yeah.
Um, I have personally invited um, people from all races and creeds to my lodge, and and some of them have come and enjoyed it, and some have not enjoyed it. And it's not that anybody was trying to be hurtful or anything like that or standoffish to anybody, but it just we go into a lodge and we feel a certain vibe
Yeah.
and we want to be a part of it or we don't. And so I would just go and visit different lodges and look and see when they're meeting.
Hmm.
Most lodges have dinner before they meet, and go and visit them and talk to them and you know I
Yeah.
wouldn't just go right up and say, how are y'all on segregation and this and that. That's just kind of rude to talk that way.
Well, you gotta go through the honeymoon period. You gotta check a few of them out. And I would
Well, yeah,
definitely.
go
Oh,
in and check them out and see how people treat you. I mean, that's
yeah.
what you want to
And
do.
I would also say I don't know where you live, right? Other than your state, but more urban lodges in larger cities, if you're looking for something that's going to have a wider variety of people, probably in a city. Like the more urban you
Yeah,
get, the less that occurs. And I don't know if you're just looking at mainstream lodges or Prince Hall lodges, but consider both. Consider each one.
what's cool is that in Texas we generally have a Holy Bible in its place in the lodge, and but but when people join with other religions and stuff like that, we put their book next to it as well, to recognize that we believe that that's okay. That it's okay to be different. We're not all supposed to be the same. If we were all the same, we would not be able to sharpen each other and build upon each other like we do.
Hmm.
So I would strongly suggest just visiting some lodges, even if no matter what your circumstance was, I would still say the same thing to anybody. Go visit some lodges because there's going to be different dynamics in every lodge that are going to appeal to you and maybe not appeal to you. Am I still not loud enough? Is that the problem?
No, it says you're still being quiet.
Well,
Let me
mine
tinker
says
with one
still
setting while you're talking, guys.
okay.
I know the display is going to be screwed for a second, so just bear with it while I tweak with something real quick.
We're not open to everybody. Not all the ABU is your moral character. Uh, I mean, uh, they're not going to let it hard, and it does be hard to be hard. That that wants to be a better person, and
Hmm.
you have to believe in a higher power. And so that's basically it. And otherwise, if if you seem abrupt to them, to I mean, I'm not gonna let someone in that seems to want to just cause arguments and stuff within my lodge. I want peace and harmony in my lodge. I don't want people arguing over stuff that really is not relevant to Freemasonry, because Freemasonry does not teach that.
Yeah, yeah. I tried messing with the audio. It was acting really wonky, so that'll be something we'll look at before the next one. I don't know why yours is coming in so quiet. Uh, so Triple Z, I'm looking at mainstream accepted lodges. I learned Prince Hall is considered clandestine here still. Well, it's a matter of perspective. I mean, Prince Hall may consider mainstream clandestine. So, really, at the end of the day, if mainstreams are, I mean, Prince Hall is a regular lodge. Regardless if the mainstream lodge are considers it clandestine or not. My point is find a lodge that you are happy with. That's either Prince Hall or mainstream. Nothing weird, and
Yeah, and
just
that you
get
have to be
involved.
careful with because there are some that call themselves Prince Hall that aren't really Prince Hall. So you do have to be careful in that regard because there are some people out there that take advantage of the diversity
Yeah,
and take advantage of that situation. So I would definitely be careful and make sure that you're with one. But like Justin said, one or the other is fine. We're learning the same stuff.
yeah, and in some cases the Prince Hall standards are higher
Or even
than
higher.
yeah
Yes,
yeah
yes.
yeah.
I was listening to a live podcast with or a live YouTube thing before we came on tonight, with some Prince Hall brothers talking about an airport that was named after um, um, Brother Marshall. Oh my goodness, I can't remember the name. But anyways, you know, this brother was so instrumental in fighting diversity and in just in life in general in our United States. And he was a lawyer, well taught, well brought up, and and it was another lawyer in the Prince Hall Lodge that was giving the speech, and there's some good Prince Hall Masons out there the regular Prince Hall fraternity is an awesome fraternity,
Hmm.
and all the men that I've met are actually a lot more intelligent than at least 75% of the men that I've met within. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, guys. Let's raise our standards. Building a better brotherhood. Let's be smarter.
Man,
Smart
calling
and
people out.
better.
Nick Smith.
I'm just saying it.
Nick Smith, did we miss one of your questions? All my questions are unanswerable, I'm afraid. I was trying to see if we missed one of your questions or something. I did see. Where's it at? I've never been convicted, but I've had a colorful life waiting for initiation. Well, congratulations. Did you set a date already? Um, well, I mean, looking forward to being
Yeah,
initiated. I need to talk freely. You can talk freely.
and yeah, you can talk freely, but if when you're initiated, you no longer um, will be allowed to talk freely. Not until you know what you're talking about, and you'll understand that once you're initiated.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry, I just want to make sure we didn't miss anything, Nick. Um, I seem like I had something else I was going to bring up. This has been a good conversation. Oh, yeah. We're talking about the Prince Hall and everything. Yeah, I've sat in lodge with Prince Hall on several occasions, and um,
We've
the
had
the
dinner with one of the grand Prince Hall Grand uh, wardens,
hmm,
and
I don't guess I was there.
extremely intelligent gentleman. I mean,
Yeah,
just extremely
yeah.
intelligent, and just a delight to talk and visit with, and talk about the differences and the similarities. And
Well, what I was gonna say is the Prince Hall brothers that I sat with in lodges, um, you could tell it's a different jurisdiction, even though in some cases they're in the same town. Like the way they come into the lodge, the way they approach the altar, the way that um, the things they do before they speak in the lodge, is almost militaristic. Like it reminds me of drill almost, or maybe like commandery, like the way they come in.
well,
It's very
it's a
sharp and
lot like
very
it's a lot like Oklahoma and Wisconsin and some of your older lodges up in the Northeast as well. They
mm,
they do that. It's a lot like that.
I see.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Here, I keep taking your thunder.
You didn't interrupt anything. I made my. I think you keep saying that. I was like, man, I think I made my point usually though. But yeah, man. You got anything else that's on your mind, Dennis? To whom I'm talking?
Oh, I thought you were talking to people that were typing here.
Well, sure. If anyone's
I,
watching has a
I
question.
was looking to see what people are asking. The main thing is you'll never become a mason until you ask someone locally how to become a mason.
Yeah.
That's that it all starts on the local level, and there's nothing we can we can tell you where there's lodges, but if you're in a jurisdiction that you know that there's lodges, I mean that's all. That's what you have to do is go talk to them,
You
and
know,
not everybody. Go ahead.
you said something really interesting, and I saw it again today. That's why it stuck out to me. Is you have to ask to join. So many people think still that you have to be invited, like it's an invitation order or that you have to have a family history, like a bloodline or something like that. And I don't know what's perpetuating it because it's nowhere that I see. It's definitely not us perpetuating it. This idea like you have to have like a special invitation or something like that.
No, there are some invitation only clubs out there, but they're not. It's not your everyday run of the mill Freemasonry or anything like that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, to get and the Blue Lodge is the starting point of all things. So when people talk about higher degrees and this and that's a good thing to bring up, I guess, in this conversation because if if people are talking about being a 32nd degree Mason or whatever, or 33rd degree or whatever, So the way that masonry works is, so you have your first 3 degrees in Blue Lodge, then you become a master mason. Once you're a master mason, then you can branch out to the other degrees. But the master is the trunk of the tree, and then you have all the branches of all these dependent bodies, and all it is more like, it's just more information, more ways of looking at yourself and at the world to do different things. So it all starts with Blue Lodge.
One day, I don't know how we're gonna do it. Uh, you and I, we need to interview Skip Smith, the most martial Grand High Priest. He went with us to Temple, and I mean, I know him very well. Like he lives locally, so we go to lodge a lot, and he's one of those brothers that like you just sit down with him, and he's so knowledgeable. And the reason I bring this up
Right.
is because so he makes a very interesting point. He's obviously pro Yorkright very much because he's the Grand High Priest. One time we were all sitting at lodge, and I was pitching for chapter and council, and I called chapter and council appendant bodies, and he came up to me after, and he's like, "Chapter's not appendant; it's pertinent." And I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "It's a pertinent body." And the reason for that, and he could explain it way more. That's why I want him on the show one day. Is uh,
Yeah, you should.
historically, historically, from the British perspective, English perspective, whatever, the Master Mason degree was not completed until you had the Royal Arch degree. And
Correct.
so to be a third degree Mason, that actually meant you had the EA, the Fellowcraft, the Master, and the Royal Arch. And so
Yes.
and
To be
so
a master mason,
yeah,
third to be a master mason.
yeah, to be fully, which sounds kind of odd, right? Because we're talking about four
Because the
degrees.
Royal Arch is it was kind of like part B. It was like a part A, a part B to the third degree, and that, so the yeah,
Well, apparently, even the Royal Arch even predates the Masters.
right.
And
And
then,
if you look at the way that it goes in order, it should. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Have you ever
yeah,
seen that?
the
It's
Royal Arch.
the,
That-
the whole gambit with all of the degrees on which order they really should go in.
Oh
Even
no,
with
I may have.
Scottish Rite does that too. There's certain degrees that really should be in front of the others,
Yeah,
and but they've been taken out of place over the years, and nobody really knows why they have, but they
yeah,
have been, and it's pretty cool if you read them in that order. It actually makes a whole lot more sense as
yeah,
far as a storyline goes.
yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good, man. But yeah, yeah. I mean, and I'm of the mindset now. Like, if anyone finishes their masters, like I used to never do this because I was always told this bad taste, and I believed it for a long time. But this idea, like as soon as you get your master's degree and you're turned in, we joke about them getting petitions immediately after, and
Right.
I agree to an extent. Like you probably shouldn't go Scottish Rite immediately. You probably shouldn't join a shrine or anything immediately. But I do think after you do your masters, you should start the York Rite journey because the
You
first,
know, I just knew you'd say that as a York Rite Mason.
well,
See,
the
I myself is a Scottish Rite Mason,
yeah.
and I would have to suggest otherwise.
Well,
Just
here's
kidding.
here's the
I'm also York Rite Mason.
well, I figured yeah, but the first three
Because
degrees
I
are
have.
York Rite.
Yes.
They're York Rite degrees, and so it
In
only
Texas they are. In
yeah, yeah,
Texas they
yeah.
are. Yes.
Well, why would we talk about any other states? I mean, come on. Like Texas is not just, but but
You
but
don't know this man. Any lodge that I'm a part of.
but it only makes sense to finish what you start as far as York Rat goes, and at least chapter council, commander's great. Like Order of the Temple is fantastic, but I understand that's not everybody's cup of tea. But at least go through chapter and council, and then do Scottish Rite and venture into the the real appendant bodies. But I just feel as though there's really the master's degree. It's an unfinished story, and so you need to finish it.
Well, and over in England, they also make you wait several years between each degree. It's not just a bam, bam, bam like here in the states. So it's not a it's not unheard of for someone even in Swedish Freemasonry. It's not unheard of for it to take someone 7 to 10 years to go through the degrees.
Yeah.
Um,
So a few things. So Triple Z. I've driven by one lodge in my town. I might as well contact them. Even if I don't join, I want to apply the Masonic morals and lessons to my personal life from other Masons. Iron sharpens iron, man. So just start hanging out. Yeah. Find a lodge and just start visiting. Granted, most lodges will probably have a petition in your hand before you leave, but you don't necessarily have to turn that in. I'd recommend you actually visit several and get a feel for each of them. And then Shmuley, after you do masters, you should spend 1 to 2 years in Blue Lodge and learn about Blue Lodge before joining. Eh, I think.
to some degree, I agree. To some degree, I
Here's
agree.
some, to
But
some degree.
it doesn't have to take 1 to 2 years. It
Yeah.
also depends on how quickly you really catch on to what the true interpretations of what you just went through is.
Well,
And you're right. We do think that.
here's my thoughts. When you turn in your masters,
Fresh, fresh out of a York, right?
yeah. When you
Deal and
from the
so
time
excited and pumped about it.
from the time that you turn in your petition to the time that you turn in your master's work, there's always a goal. You always have a goal. This is what I need to do next, step by step. This is what I need to do. This is what's expected of me. And then once you turn in your master's work, you kind of just like let out to the field, and at that point you're just told you get out of it whatever you put into it, and just there's no real guidance anymore. And I think by encouraging people, say, look, and you do this from the beginning. You say, look, you got the first 2 degrees, and then you go York Rite. By encouraging them to go York Rite and going through those degrees, that eliminates this lost feeling. And really, you're not spreading yourself too thin because there's no memory work for the York Rite. There's no questions and answers unless you want to start learning how to confer degrees, and then you need to memorize reasonably. You need to memorize how to do the role. I don't think it's really spreading you too thin, and for better or worse, the degree fees are usually very low in York Rite, and the dues are very low in York Rite, and usually it's conferred within 1 or 2 days. So I mean, it's a big weekend or 2 big weekends to get all the chapter and all the council degrees. But I don't see how you'd really be spreading yourself too thin by going that and having the experience. What is Blue Lodge, Shmuley? Blue Lodge is your typical Masonic lodge that confers the first 3 degrees in Masonry. Dennis, are you frozen?
No, I'm looking.
Oh, you never found that? You're looking at that list of lodges of Masonic?
Yeah, yeah.
I forgot all about that. We got sidetracked.
Well, one of the things. So what was the question about Blue Lodge? One of the reasons is because blue has been associated with eternity, um, immortality.
There you go. There you go, imposing your interpretation of the symbolism on other
That's
people.
one. That's
Shame on you. Shame on you. But yeah. I agree, Dennis. That's the exoteric definition for sure of why it's a Blue Lodge.
I I don't I don't think that I don't think there is a lodge in Ghana.
I saw someone go into their list of lodges and take a picture of Ghana and the lodges in Ghana.
Huh. I was looking. It gave the. I'll keep looking. Maybe I just don't know how to look it up. You know what? I happen to be very good friends with our Grand Lodge secretary, and I can
Does he know that
almost
you're
get.
good friends?
No, he doesn't. He wouldn't. He wouldn't.
Would he be surprised to hear this?
It's funny. It is funny. This weekend we're at a dinner, and I'm sitting there talking to with some other brothers, and the the grandmaster comes and sits with us, and the grand sits with us, and we're sitting there talking, and then the grand secretary texts me and says, "Am I supposed to read this?" And I didn't see it until after he had already done it, and then and so everybody looks over while he's reading the certain thing, and then and then I texted, "Yeah, read it." Anyway, it's just you just had to be there. It was after a few shots, after a few.
Having fun without me.
Yeah, well,
Man, I'm telling you, speaking of that, so Temple Lodge is right across the street from an Irish pub. And we went, I mean, the York Rite degrees were like all day just for chapter. And so we all went to the pub after. And man, it's a nice pub. It was a good time. I probably had more fun than you did on Friday. I'm just saying.
you probably, yeah, you probably did. 'Cause I went to the hotel early. I went and hung out with my family, and I did the same thing Saturday as well. I just kind of snuck out and did that, but we did have a great time. The festive board was awesome. It was pristine, um, and the shots that I was talking about are actually just it's it's like toast. So and it's just a little bitty thing of beer that you're drinking. So it's not really like you're getting drunk or anything.
Yeah.
But it's just toast to different things, and it was really a cool experience, a fun experience. We get to sit around, be gentlemen, talk about intelligent topics, and raise a few dollars for our favorite charities. This one happened to be for a local school that they support, and and above and beyond what we do as Masons, they support this one school with the disabled children, and they have helped pay for teachers to be at that school. I mean, that's how much they do for this one school, and it's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. It was a great time.
Shmuley says our grand secretary was doing his duty. I see what you did there, Shmuley. I see that.
Nice,
Yes. Uh,
nice. He
Z-
was. He
ZZ.
did. So you were there.
No, he's
Who?
just being punny.
Who?
That's Sean Rothberg, man.
Okay.
Ron
Is
Schaufberg.
that who it is?
Yes, he said that's who it was.
Oh, I wouldn't.
I told you, I was like, oh, Sean, you don't gotta worry, really. But
Yeah.
yeah, that was Sean. So ZZZ, uh, I think the lodge I contacted has an old AOL email that failed. I'll have to visit physically. Man,
That's the thing to do.
I just hate to hear that. I hate to hear that the lodge has an email and it gets bounced back like some old outdated thing. To me personally, and I'm not saying
That's frustrating. That shouldn't happen. That shouldn't happen.
that's a red flag for me. I've just and it might be a great lodge, right? But man, they might just be really behind on their contact info and stuff. But that's always concerning for me. Like if you email a lodge and it doesn't even go to an actual email anymore.
Well, well, let me be the good guy on this one, and maybe they changed secretaries or something like that recently, and they just hadn't changed it on online yet. Which
Maybe.
actually they should, and we know that if you're gonna market yourself properly and keep up with what you're doing. That's the proper thing to do. But
Oh, they have a
but
website apparently. He said they
that's
found it.
one of the things that.
I guess they have an updated website. He said they found, so that's good.
Oh, okay.
Or you can find their
Well,
Facebook. That's also good advice.
yes, Facebook is the most common. way to find a lodge these days
Hmm.
because that's everybody's go-to. People of my generation, we like websites and we like email. People of his generation, they like instant messenger and TikTok and
Okay,
they're
boomer.
they're tweeters. They live on the line, man. No, but really though, you got to remember that there's multiple ways to reach somebody and not just one way.
Yeah.
And we should be thinking about that as lodges too, and as brothers in our lodge, we should be supporting our lodges and helping them with the different ways to market ourselves the the to the world. You know, if they can't reach us, if they can't call us or talk to us or email us or message us or something, then we're failing at our mission, which is to make better men, make a better world, and that's got to start with the basics. Isn't that right?
That's right. I absolutely agree.
What's wrong?
Nothing's wrong. I agree.
What's wrong?
Is it
What's
wrong?
wrong
Is it?
about what's right?
Uh, what's right about what's wrong?
Well, there's a lot of things that are right about what's wrong, but not many things that are wrong about what's right.
Mm, man, that's a deep
But I may
conversation.
not be right
Probably not.
about
Why not? Cool, man. Well, this has been a good conversation. I
No
think
way, man. You are not cutting me off. It has not been a good conversation. I haven't had enough.
you never have
You've cut
enough.
me off. You've cut me off for what seems like weeks, and
Oh, okay.
I
I mean, we
just
can do
haven't.
longer. I just I'm not interested in a 3 hour conversation again on a Sunday night. But we could talk a little bit longer if you want to.
You could have been involved yesterday. We could have had a 3-hour Saturday night conversation, but no, you were too tired from your reunion or your festival.
Man, I didn't even get home till like I don't even know what time it was. I was so out of it. By the time it was all, by the time everything was said and done, after O'Brien's, I probably didn't need to get on a live podcast anyway. I'm just or a live like I'm just saying.
Right.
I'm just
What's
saying.
what's cool? So guys, going back to what he went through this weekend and what I went through, um, that's one of the key things that helped us to develop our friendships and our relationships with each other. It's those shared moments, and it's those rites of passage that we go through together. Whether he's on one side of it giving the lecture, or if he's on the other side receiving the lecture, it's a shared moment you have with that person. You know, the one of the brothers that I love dearly is Bobby McKee. And some of you guys out there in the middle of Texas, over near Greenville, probably know him. He's moved over to your area, but Bobby has the deepest, most comforting voice in the world, and he gave my lectures when I went through the degrees, and I'll never forget the man. I damn near cried at Grand Lodge when I saw him again for the first time in 7 years, and or 8, 9. It was a long time, but you have those shared moments, and you'll never forget them. The night the day that I you know got in the commandery, uh, Tim Witowski, he was my the worshipful master of the lodge that I was in, and he actually what did my conferred my degrees as a master. That's why I tried to do the same when I was a master. Um, but he was also um, in charge of the commandery at the time, and he was the one who had me drink from the cup and took me to that next level in the commandery. And I'll never forget him. Never, ever,
Mm.
ever. And there's nothing but love in my heart for the people that I've gone through all these things with, whether it was on one side of the aisle or the other, whether I was, helping with a degree or what have you, those shared experiences, those commonalities, man, man, that's the good stuff. That's what builds us up and makes us able to talk to each other about the differences in life
Shared
that we may
experiences
have.
are very important.
Absolutely,
Um,
absolutely.
Triple Z, I appreciate you even answering my questions. Well, that's what we're here for. That's why we're doing this live YouTube, so we can interact with people and answer questions and just be present live with one another. Um, a a 3 to 4 person group talk in the future. Were you not here
Our
2 weeks
first one was,
ago?
I know,
I
right?
mean,
Our first one
what
was
kind of
was rough.
does he even follow us? Sean, do you even follow us? I mean,
Poser.
man, I'm so disappointed. Like our first one, we
Where's
had,
Tyler? Who let this guy in?
yeah,
That's what
yeah,
I would say.
eavesdropper.
They let anybody in this group. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No, the first live we did was with Brother Fluff, the Brother Fluff, the fluffiest Mason in Texas,
Yes, yes.
and you weren't here,
And he was
man.
and he was sporting the San Antonio Hat Company gear and
Homework,
showing off.
homework,
Homework.
yeah.
I have homework. Oh, okay. Well, good luck, man.
No, that's why he said he missed it because he had homework.
Oh, okay. He missed it because he had homework.
Yeah, yeah. Likely excuse.
Not everyone can be a learned man like my co-host Justin Jones.
I don't read books. I just sleep on them and absorb it. I learn through osmosis.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
I just look at the pictures.
All Dennis's books are pop-ups. Even a cipher, it's a pop-up
Yes,
book.
yes. And some of them have music. You just push the little button. No, I just hang out with other guys that are smarter than me, and I get a little bit smarter every day. That's what I do.
Tr-
That's my secret to success.
Triple Z, I watched some of your older lives, subscribed within maybe the last month. Well, I appreciate you watching everything, and I hope it was helpful for you. I hope you got information that you were looking for, based off some, especially the older stuff. The older stuff was a lot more down to earth and explanatory. So I hope you got what you're looking for by watching those.
Yeah, Triple Z. If you really do need help trying to find somebody or whatever, let us know. Um, just reach out later at a later date and ask us, and maybe we can help you out. I was in a conference this past weekend that had a few brothers from North Carolina and West Virginia, Washington State. So it's pretty cool. So
You know what?
we can help.
You know what I just realized? Out of the
Like it now,
blue?
yeah, dude.
No, well, out of the blue, we
What?
we've we've never interviewed. We've interviewed 2 grandmasters, but we never interviewed the grand secretary.
I don't know if I'm ready for that. He's smart. He's smart. He went to the secretary's office instead of making himself available for the grant.
Well, that's good. That means he can have some good conversation.
Oh yeah, Justin. He's full of good conversation.
Well, thank
Not
you. I
you,
appreciate that.
Jones.
Oh,
Not you, Jones.
uh, let's
He
see.
is. He is really. He is one of the best secretaries I've ever known.
He's
He
he's
he has
the
done so much for our Grand Lodge.
he's the grandest secretary we've had all year long.
He is
Yeah,
absolutely the grandest.
he takes his duty seriously.
Absolutely. He's pretty grandiose, though.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see. Does he have time to be interviewed? Pfft, for us? Of course, he'll make
Yeah,
time for us, man. Because he knows Dennis won't leave him alone until he says yes.
that's right. I'll keep him up till 3 o'clock in the morning if he doesn't do it. Actually, I can't hang with him. He's always busy, always busy. But yes, he would. I guarantee you, we can get him on the show.
We'll just appear at his office one day and interview him there.
I think what we ought to do is do a live from one of the events. one day with him,
Mm,
and just really that way we can nail him to the wall and really get to the vault of Texas Freemasonry.
yeah, the real secrets.
Hmm.
Mm. Maybe one day he'll make time for us. We'll put it that way. Yeah,
Yeah, we do have we've got a lot of people coming up that are going to be pretty awesome, pretty awesome.
yeah, we got Rip Moore coming out next week. That's a
Yes,
really good one.
Rip Moore is yes, and if he inspired us to get into this deal. I mean, he's a good man, a good Mason, and he did an excellent show with 148. And I hear he's going to do a few more cool things with 148, so that's going to be cool. Because I always when we're not listening to our own programs, we're listening to 148
Yeah,
and historical light and different podcasts. We're always trying to make ourselves better.
yeah.
Always.
Sean sent me a message. He's 3 years out being worship master. So that's exciting for you, man. I
Yes,
might have to make that
absolutely.
installation.
Sean, you need to put some money aside for officer leadership training, and now's the time to do it. If you hadn't done it, now's the time to do it because you need to start planning now because the year that you're in that office is the time for execution.
Yep.
So we can help. We'll be there too. We'll be there helping those guys with those brothers with some of it as well.
I was gonna say I think they got a really good team this year.
They got an awesome team. They got an awesome team, and in fact, Whitmore's going to be on that team. Is on that team as well. I mean, he's the latest addition to the committee on education.
Hello,
So
Nilos One. From
a lot of exciting stuff coming.
he says hello from San Antonio, Texas.
Uh oh.
So Nilos, if
Yeah.
you're if you're a Mason, and if you go to the Alamo observation, you can see Dennis Yates there.
I will definitely be there. Are
He's
you a
a
Mason?
he's a good Mason. He'll be there. I like some of us. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah, we're looking to have close to 1,000 Masons at the Alamo, if not more. It's going to be awesome. We're going to do Grand Procession, which Grand Lodge doesn't do a whole lot these days. But this year, at all the big events, we've been doing Grand Procession
Uh-huh.
and all the historical events. And so we'll be doing Grand Procession from the Scottish Rite building over to the Alamo and have a nice presentation. The night before, there's a casino night um, for one of the lodges at the 100-year celebration. The night of the grand conference, there's also a gala that evening for um, Alamo Lodge's 175th anniversary, which is awesome. And go to Grand Lodge. You can buy your tickets there if you're a Mason. Log in and buy your tickets there
Uh-huh.
through Grand Lodge. And man, it's going to be outstanding. It's going to be a great weekend. We do this every weekend, just about
Yeah.
somewhere.
We it was last year I went to Waco's their festive board and we did a procession. Some of us did. It was kind of rainy, so some people got chickened out. But we did a procession over the Brazos to the Baylor Stadium, and
Yes,
we had it was a
very cool.
bagpipe procession. So they're playing bagpipes. We were walking across and everything. I'm looking forward to this year. I haven't heard any news about their festive board for this year, but I'm told they're going to do another one.
Okay, so since you had to say it, so San Antonio is home of the third best, one of the third best bagpipe players in the world. He goes to competitions all around the world,
Uh-huh.
and I may have had a conversation with him, and he may have agreed to walk out our grand procession with bagpipes. Now, if the grand master wants it or not, it's totally up to him. But I happen to know that number three in the world in San Antonio, wants to walk us through the Alamo with bagpipes going down. Can you imagine 1,000 Masons in their aprons, dressed up nicely, suits and ties on, beautiful apron, walking down the road with bagpipes leading the way, with the Knights of St. Andrew from the Scottish Rite all in their regalia, which we have our own. Um, where did I put that?
Well,
Oh, I
the
put it on
bagpipes
yesterday.
will remind everybody of the bagpipes that were played at the actual Alamo, so that'd be really good. Davy Crockett,
Show us.
played played the bagpipes.
Travis, Travis and Crockett. Yeah, absolutely.
But I don't really care if there was actually bagpipes there or not. To be frank with you, I think anytime you can walk around playing bagpipes is an opportunity to take.
Well,
When I was in the Air Force, I was doing tech school at Biloxi. It was like a colonel or something. I don't even know who it was. But I hated running when I was young, and I was really bad. I was like the last guy. But then this colonel would come out, and he played bagpipes. And I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about bagpipe music, but man, I'd haul butt. I was like, man, I'm pumped up. Let's do this. I feel like William Wallace. So yeah,
exactly, and that's the thing that you get emotional. You
yeah,
hear bagpipes and you just get emotional. It stirs something
yeah,
in your soul, and that I think that's what it's more about.
yeah. I need to go change a diaper. So hey, why don't you answer? Needless one made another comment. Why don't you respond to that, and I'll change that diaper, and I'll be back.
Okay. Can't
Oh,
hear anything.
I was
There you
muted.
go.
There we go.
Yeah, yeah, you muted me too, so couldn't hear me
How did I mute
the
you? I
whole
just
time.
muted my mic.
I don't know.
That's weird.
Maybe it's going through your mic. Maybe that's why they can't hear me very well. Can y'all hear me now? Tell us if you can hear Dennis also, or just Justin. Just
Just
Justin.
Justin. That's
Remember
very
that?
odd. Okay. Yeah,
Uh,
I muted me. I don't know why that did.
you
That's
sorry son of a.
that's
So
weird.
all that time, here I am. Oh my goodness.
Well,
So now we know
man,
the
I
problem
was
is
taking my
really us.
time. I was like, Dennis got this.
Ah,
I can get a
I
drink. I
know.
can use. Man.
Exactly. Use the bathroom.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
go. You know, got pumped about the bagpipes, so you ran around the neighborhood,
yeah. Yeah.
scared a few
Well,
ladies.
that's we lost some people during that time too. I guess whenever I left, people just decided they didn't want to hear it anymore. That's
Oh, so nobody likes me. That's
so.
weird.
So what were we going to tell Nelos or Nelos?
Okay, so Nilos, oh, he said he was gonna reset his phone. Maybe that's why he's not back yet.
Oh,
Okay, so good. I'm glad you hear way better now. I also switched. I turned my headphones off and turned them back on, and I guess that helped out a lot too.
that's probably what it was.
So, um, I'll wait for a second to let Nilos come back on, but the the grand procession is at 1 o'clock, 1 p.m. And the reason
So
they're doing that is so people can drive in time to come see, uh, to come be a part and not feel like they have to get a hotel or whatever. Because it's real hard right now to get a hotel
yeah, we
in
couldn't find a hotel.
Oh, I could have.
It's a yeah, it's a pretty
Yeah,
good drive.
you could have just told me. There's only 1,000 rooms in that big old hotel. I already went out.
So while we're are you on TikTok at all?
TikTok right
Yeah,
now.
you no.
Oh,
Generally speaking, Dad.
um,
It's like my dad. Like I ask him
because
something. It's like
they look nasty.
he's like,
Um, no, well, yes, I am, but the name is a hidden name. I just spy on people.
oh, I
I
see.
watch Pimple Poppers, and no, I do watch Pimple Poppers. Oh, I stayed up too late watching them last night. But anyways,
Pimple poppers.
yes, oh,
There's this
so
new
good.
thing where they or it's new for me where they'll show like the impacted toenails, and they'll go in and take
Ooh,
those nails out.
yes, and they
Yeah,
got that little knife thing to just
yeah.
cut
But
those
my
toes.
point is, like Masonry on TikTok's on fire right now.
Yeah, I really need to set up another account with my real name instead of having a creeper account.
Hmm.
That's what you do when you're not sure if you're going to get into it or not. You just want to kind of be on the outskirts and not be known.
Yeah. It I'm glad I jumped into it like I did, just cause
Yeah,
it
I think I will too.
yeah, I mean it's interesting. Like there's a learning curve because you're editing videos on the fly and stuff, but it's pretty intuitive. It's not too bad, and
Dude, I'm an on the fly kind of guy.
yeah, you're pretty fly for a Jedi.
Pretty fly.
Hold on a second. Gosh,
Bless you.
see, I'm at almost 1,500 followers. So if you're
Oh,
watching this and if you're on TikTok, you need to find what is my username? Find the real JT Jones.
I'm going to take MID, Masonic Improvement D, Dennis. I'm going to do something like that so that y'all know it's me.
The MIG,
Oh, yeah.
Masonic Improvement Guru.
MIG.
The
Yes.
MIG.
The MIG of the South. But, so the grand procession is at 1 o'clock, just so that in case any of y'all missed that, that's when the grand procession is.
Yeah.
So we'll march over there then.
Cool.
But I actually, a cool thing. I got onto Twitter. I actually remembered my login. Since I changed phones, I had to log in again. At first, I panicked and gave two wrong answers, and finally got the right one.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody tweeted yesterday about more education and stuff like that, and so I was able to converse with them a little bit about that on Twitter, which is kind of cool.
On the
I
Twitter,
really haven't, yeah, on the tweet.
on the tweets. I tweeted somebody
And
on the Twitter.
yeah, I tweeted on the Twitter. I never really got into it. It's kind of, a fly by the seat of your pants kind of thing, and I'm really not that into it. This is mostly what I do, stuff
Man,
like this.
yeah, yeah. I got on the MySpace and tried that out the other day.
That's so funny. You know what's really bad is that when Facebook first came out, I did not get on it for like 6 or 7 years.
Oh man, I was on it. I was on it pretty
Yes.
quick, but man, I was actually thinking about it the other day. Like there used to be like these flash games. I'm not talking about not the farming one. It was before that, like early
Oh
early
my,
Facebook
yeah.
where you had like a pirate ship and you attack other pirate ships and stuff. I was like, man, it's come. I don't even know what kind of games are on Facebook. It's been like 10 years since I even played a game on Facebook. But I was like, man,
Right.
it's changed so much. Like I remember used to be able to poke people and stuff like that.
Yes. You can still poke people. Nobody does it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
My cousin did it the other day. It was kind of weird, but I
Yeah, your cousin poked you. That is kind of
yeah,
weird. It's a little strange.
that is weird. That shouldn't happen.
It shouldn't happen.
Not in Texas. Maybe in South Carolina, but not in. Just kidding, guys.
My MySpace actually does still exist. I went on there. I went on there like a month ago just to see if I could see my old account, and I couldn't even figure out my login anymore. But well, it's been like 10 years, huh?
MySpace still exists?
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, I need to open an account just to have one. Just to say I have one. Let's all do that.
that's what the
Let's
hipsters
open
done.
up. Yes, let's all do that. Get back on MySpace and forget about the book of faces.
Mm.
Just show them who's really boss.
I'm pretty well
And
integrated into the Book of Faces right now. Like all my
I'm
stuff's
gonna,
linked with it.
yeah, I may be, but I'm gonna go ahead and get on the MySpace and I'm gonna start talking it up and I'm gonna buy some stocks and really start talking it up and maybe I can get a bunch of millennials to jump on board
Hmm.
on the fly and then I'll sell my stocks.
Is there a term for that when you're
Insider trading.
yeah, yeah. I know. Yeah.
I just call it cornering the market. That's what I
Cornering the
call it.
market. Yeah, I was gonna say, is there a term for
Corner.
that when you're pushing like that? Yeah, yeah.
Yes. So yes. It is funny thinking that hipsters probably still use MySpace because that's the thing to do. That's so
It's
funny.
it's it's
But
how nature's cyclical. Like everyone got out of MySpace and jumped into Facebook, and now everyone's like, "Oh, Facebook is the devil. Let's find something new." Hey, what's
exactly,
MySpace? That's a new thing. Let's jump on that.
exactly. But you know what's interesting about that thought is that in building a better brotherhood, we need to be on the forefront of technology. Our the brothers of the past, they used all the latest technology and they were trying to learn the newest things and implement uh, the the data from the ancients. They gathered that data, put it together, and then
I'm telling you, man,
started started learning, started
virtual
using it.
reality. Virtual reality.
This is as real as I can get.
Headsets. A headset
Oh
for
my
the
gosh,
lodge.
have us in a virtual room together? Oh, that might be cool.
No, no, I'm talking for the degrees.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
The way I saw that one Saturday, I tell you that if I was ever gonna see one or be in a virtual room with a degree,
Mhm.
that's exactly what I would want to see.
Now, it wouldn't work for everything, right? But there are times, particularly maybe during the lectures or something, when actually seeing things and looking around.
Just put them in front of a microfiche with a headset. Let them just
And I know we have PowerPoints, but it's just we also had magic lanterns at one point. Yeah,
right.
as technology
That's
progresses, it makes sense to
awesome.
adopt
Yes, that's
something
so
new.
cool. Talk about a walking lecture. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, yeah,
And be able to map it out in your how big your lodge is, and that way and where things are, and that way you wouldn't run into things, but you would walk along through this walking lecture. That would be
and,
so
and
cool.
talking about implementing music, you implement it on the VR, on the headpiece.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
I'm
That'd
just
be
thinking
awesome.
about like if you're doing the Fellcraft lecture, like the walking lecture, or even the 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 staircase lecture, like the second half of the. I think having a little VR would be very interesting.
That could be, yeah, to see it actually unfold in front of you, and just think if you saw all those thoughts of the different symbolism there. If you saw versions of it just pop up, boom, 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 boom. That's yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I can dig it. I can dig it. I'd enjoy it,
but can
but I don't think Grand Lodge would
I
dig
was
it.
gonna say
We'd have to.
can they dig
We'd
it?
have to.
That's the
Yeah,
question.
we'd have to buy the Grand West all of them their own little headsets so they could watch it happen before they voted on it, so that they would. Because I guarantee, if everyone in the Grand West saw what I saw Saturday, there's no way they would have voted that down, or there's no way it would have been withdrawn.
It was
There's
it
just no
was
way.
it was opposition. It was
There
yeah.
always is. There always is. It's the C word. It's change.
So I learned something interesting. The over in Ireland, they every lodge does. I don't know if it's every degree, but for sure the EA degree is different. It's a little bit different. Like it's actually encouraged for every lodge to have its own version of the inner apprentice
Huh.
degree. And I mean the basics are still there. The basics are always still there, but it's all presented a little bit differently, and it encourages you
Who
to go
told
see.
you that? That's a secret. No, just kidding.
Well, who did
Who'd you hear that?
who did I hang out with this weekend?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Interesting.
he's
Interesting.
very well traveled. Like he had been there. He is actually
I was
and
gonna say I'm going to Scotland in September, so I'll definitely ask those questions too.
yeah, I think it was Ireland, but
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
know.
it's close.
But anyway,
Who
but
knows?
but that encourages visitation, so you could see kind of how they do it two towns over or something like that. This
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I, I I'm going to tread very carefully here, but this cookie cutter approach to that every degree has to be exactly the same. That means if it feels exactly the same, then why would I go see a fellow craft next over the next town over when it's exactly like I've seen it 100 times already. There's nothing interesting about
Oh, contraire, mon frere.
that.
I
Me personally, I'd
I
still go.
love I love seeing the different I love seeing the different degrees with different lodges and stuff
Well, the
because
thing is, every
and you're
degree
right because it is different.
it is still
It's
different.
not exactly
It is still
yes,
different. I'm saying if it was the exact same, like if it was cookie
right.
cutter, like we're apparently striving for, that I don't
You know,
know.
that's an interesting thought because I'm in the southern jurisdiction, Scottish Rite, and the northern jurisdiction has a different set of 32 degrees. Now they still teach the same lessons, but they're an updated version of those lessons. It's a different storyline, but they teach the same moral and ethical values that we're trying to learn through this. Um, but it's a different storyline. So I can totally get that. And because I've been studying both since I've been on the education committee for the Scottish Rite the past few years. That's one of my favorite things to do is to get um, the northern jurisdiction work out and compare it to our monitor and see the differences.
Yeah.
So cool.
Well, it's like the Scottish Rite degrees over in Louisiana.
Oh yeah.
Like, why do people want to go see it? Well, because they're different. It's
Oh,
a different spin.
Guess who's gonna join those lodges just so that he can definitely see it firsthand? This guy.
Oh, that's who I was going to guess. I'm glad you clarified.
Yeah,
uh,
they've already told me that they'd be happy to let me experience it.
well, I want to go just see it. I'm not ready.
Yeah,
I don't want to
and they
join, but
told and the people that I talked to said that they would allow my friends to see it while I do it.
oh,
So
does that include
I'll
me?
definitely let you know when that happens. Yes, it does.
Oh, okay, nice. Yeah, I'd
In
like to
fact,
go.
we'll probably work in an interview when we do that. We'll probably have to work in an interview or two while we're over there,
Or three.
or three. I could
Yeah,
do it.
yeah.
I don't know if you could put up with me that long, but I could do it.
Speaking of putting up with you for a long time, it's almost 11 now, and I think,
It is, and CCC, you kept up with us the whole time. I am I'm grateful, man. I
yeah,
hope you enjoyed it. We talk about a lot of nonsense, but we also talk about some good stuff too.
yeah.
And yeah, if you're interested in becoming a Mason, then look into your local lodges, and if you if you're concerned about the route you're taking, reach out to us and let us know which ones you're contacting or whatever, and we can make sure that they're actually legit. That's one thing I can do is make sure that it's a legit lodge and not some one guy that's pretending to be a grandmaster of his own lodge and
I don't
but
want you. I don't
has
want.
been grandmaster for 25 years.
I don't want anybody to just find a legit lodge. I want them to find a lodge that is too legit. I want it to be too legit to quit.
Oh, he's jumping into my area. Oh yeah. You want me to do the hammer top? The hammer?
Please don't.
I can do it.
Please don't.
I can do it. No, no, no.
All right. All right.
I can do this stuff.
Quit it. You're delirious. You get some
I
sleep.
am not. I am not. I'm an old man. I go to bed late, get up early.
Triple Z, it was a great live stream. Appreciate all your help and advice. Love your channel. Well, we appreciate you watching and participating and asking questions. And hope to see you again.
Yeah, if you have friends that are interested in this kind of stuff, have them jump in too, and we'll do lives from time to time, and
Every other week
we'll
or so.
yeah. Well, so just stay tuned, and we'll start announcing it, at least a day in advance. To
Usually.
this one, I was out of town, and one
Yeah.
I was out of town, and so when I came into town, Justin he missed me so much that he needed to have his together time with me, and I wanted to honor that because he is such a good and close friend, and really he's become my best friend. And that's the cool thing about Freemason is that you can be on the other side of the world, and when you travel and you have those shared experiences, and you start having some shared expenses, then you start getting to know brothers from all over, and relationships like this can spur out of it. I mean, I truly do trust Justin with my family. I truly do, and I wouldn't be afraid to ask him to check in on him if something happened to me.
Yeah.
Because I know that he would, and I would definitely do the same thing.
I trust Dennis with my family, but I don't necessarily trust my family with Dennis.
I thought you were going to say I don't trust my inheritance with Dennis.
Well, my children are a lot like me, so I don't really trust them with anybody.
exactly.
Yeah. All
But
right.
this was great. This was fun. I enjoyed it, Justin, and we'll talk again tomorrow. And
Sounds
well,
good.
we won't talk here tomorrow, but we'll talk tomorrow,
We'll talk somewhere
and
at
we'll
some point soon.
plan out the next. Yeah, we'll plan out the next.
Somewhere at some point soon. All right. Later, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Take care.